Hi everybody, Joel Carlson here, Faces of Minnesota. Today I'm with special guest Zoe Francois, pastry chef and book author, and so we'll look forward to asking her a few questions today and getting to know a little more about her. So the first question for you, Zoe, is this. What would you say triggered your passions for baking?
So, I guess my passion for baking started when I was really little. I would say like 8 or 9, and a friend of mine and I used to go into the kitchen, throw a bunch of stuff into a pan, stick it into the oven, and the goal was to have it explode. So the more things would like pop out of the pan or, you know, burn to the bottom of the oven, the better it was. And then as I got older, I actually wanted to eat the stuff, so I started, you know, baking and following recipes and getting cookbooks for birthday presents, and so it really started as a little kid.
Great. Now, did you learn to become a pastry chef? Was that something that came easy to you, or was it something that took some real work at learning?
Well, given my start of blowing things up, I went to culinary school actually to study the food science behind it so that I would understand why things would work, and so that my success rate of following a recipe would be enhanced. Because I would follow a recipe, and if it didn't work, I wouldn't know why. And so I wanted to go and understand the chemistry. You know, baking is a bit of chemistry, but once you have a few simple rules and techniques, you can sort of play with recipes and create your own and sort of put your signature on things. And so culinary school gave me the ability to do that, and hopefully also the ability to teach other people how to do that.
All right. So we also know that you've worked at several restaurants before you became an author and the success that you are now.
Right.
How did you get to that point of going to the next level from being a pastry chef at restaurants to also now being an author?
Well, that was a bit of a fluke, and I guess I have my children to thank for that. I was working with Stephen Brown at the local when I had my first son, Henry, and I worked after he was born for a little while and then realized being in a professional kitchen is brutal on a new family. So it's all the wrong hours and lots of them. So I stopped working as a pastry chef. I kept teaching but stopped working in professional kitchens. And then I met my co-author, Jeff Fritzberg, and we were at a music class at McPhail, and we'd both been before, so we were a little bit bored and wandered to the back of the class and started chatting, and he told me about this crazy bread that he'd been baking. And eventually we decided to write the books together, and so that's how it happened. It was a little bit of a fluke.
Okay. Now, from all of your book work, being the co-author of 3 different books, all of them have in the title "in 5 minutes."
Right.
Is speed and simplicity something that's very important to you, and why?
It is, in the sense that we knew it would make it desirable and accessible to everybody. You know, people are so busy that they're either intimidated by the time it will take or by the process, and we knew that if we could get this process and this result in front of people, and it was only 5 minutes or a fraction of the time they expected it to be, that they'd actually do it. And so it's more realism. We know that people aren't going to spend hours and hours a day to have a loaf of bread, and nor should they. And with our recipe, they don't have to. And so some of the projects I do, especially on Zoe Bakes, aren't 5 minutes a day, and that's okay. But for the bread, yeah, I think it's pretty crucial to what we're trying to do.
Okay. Are there any more books that we can expect from you and Jeff in the coming future? You don't have to give titles, obviously, but...
Yeah, we actually just signed on to do 2 more. One I'm just finishing up now, and then another one will come out in a couple of years. We're not talking about titles yet,
Sure.
but they'll be along the lines of the bread books, 5 minutes a day, and probably introducing more of the whole meal to the equation.
Oh, okay.
So that, yeah, so we can round out bread and other elements of the meal.
Okay, great. Now, another area that some people like yourself get involved with is writing articles for magazines.
Yeah.
Anything that we should be expecting from you in that realm in the next year or two?
Well, I just wrote an article for Fine Cooking magazine based on our pizza book, and then I'm doing another article for them coming up. I just finished an article for a magazine called Cooking Club that will be about spring cakes. The interesting thing about writing books and doing food articles for magazines is that we're doing them so far in advance. So even though I'm just writing them now, they won't be out for about another year.
Okay, but they'll still be fresh to everybody, though.
Yes, they'll be very fresh when they come out.
Great.